Hello everyone, welcome to the ninth Lord in all the houses. The ninth Lord is the Lord of Bhagyesa or fortune. He is probably the most important Lord you will see in all your chart. Yes, more so than even Ascendant, if the truth were known. Why? Because this ninth house Lord connects to your past life. He brings directly those karmas you will burn, both good and ill. So it's very important to understand him. Many secrets will be given out here. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. And if the video is good for you, give it a thumbs up. Let's begin. Firstly, everybody who are the house lords in Vedic astrology, you should understand that many signs have more than one lord, and you will need to check both to understand your destiny from that house. Secondly, we are using sign for a house system where a whole rasi or sign is contained in each house. This is most important. If you should attempt to use an equal house system, it just won't give you the correct result. The Lord of Aries is Mars, of Taurus it's Venus and the Moon. For Gemini, it's Mercury. For Cancer, the Moon. For Leo, the Sun. And for Virgo, it's Mercury and Rahu. For Libra, the Lord is Venus. For Scorpio, it's Mars and Ketu. For Sagittarius, Jupiter. For Capricorn, Saturn. For Aquarius, Saturn and Rahu. And for Pisces, Jupiter and Ketu. Another important understanding is how do you judge the results of any house in your chart? Strongest indication are given by the planets in the house. First and foremost, check the videos on my channel showing you results of planets in houses in your chart. The next most powerful factor are the aspects to the house, especially when there are no planets in the house. Planets aspecting by sign and site, that planet will give you the result of the house. And finally, it's the Lord of the house, the Bhagyesa, what I'm discussing in this series, that will give you the result of the house. Don't forget, all three have to be considered equally in this order of importance. But for those who have rarely no planets in the house nor any aspect, the Bhagyesa gives you the total story. The Bhagyesa then is the Lord of your ninth house, everybody. Bhagya means fortune. And this Lord carries your fortune, both good fortune and ill fortune. Don't forget, Lady Luck goes up and goes down. What you should know about this Bhagyesa, though, is that it carries more than just your fortune. It is the key to who you are. Perhaps really, Bhagyesa is the most important Lord you have to see in your chart. And why is this, everybody? It's because the Bhagyesa is showing us what happened in your past life. The past life that is actually responsible for the Prarabdha karma shown in your chart. What you are going to burn in this very lifetime. How we judge past life, though, is not in this D1 chart. Let me show you the first secret. Circumstances of your past life, exactly, and the experiences you were going through which are behind present experience and situation. Take the ninth Lord birth chart D1 and see it in the Navamsa and in the D60 chart. A thorough examination of the Bhagyesa in those two charts will actually give you the circumstances of your last birth. So forget about 12th house, everybody. I know particularly Western astrology talk about 12th house. 12th house is not about your past life karmas in this sense. It's about what you carry, fears, whatever in your subconscious mind. If you want to see what was happening to you, use the technique I've just shown you. So most certainly, Bhagyesa is carrying past life karma into our very chart, into our very circumstance in this lifetime D1 chart we can see. But remember, Bhagyesa is like Jupiter, like the natural ninth house Lord Jupiter Guru. He wants to expand our life. He wants to give us good fortune. And even if ninth house Lord is a malefic like Saturn, Mars, Rahu, Ketu, he still is going to bring you that fortune. The thing is, we have to understand that certain actions promote Bhagyesa. Bhagyesa is the Lord of the house of Dharma. And this is the most important thing we have to understand. This is what is behind our fortune. This is a house of Sagittarius. This is the ninth house of religion, guru, dharma, most importantly. Dharma means righteous action. So religion means where we learn what is good action, bad action. And this is what is behind all of our fortune. The good which we have done comes back, gives us many blessings in life. And those ill deeds give us much suffering. See everyone, the ninth house is a very important junction in our experience. The ninth house is the next house from the eighth house of trauma transformation. So once we come through that dark night of our soul, we come to the ninth house, to the light, to the guru, to the teaching which takes us to liberation and freedom. Ninth house is the door to our freedom. This is important to understand. The ninth house itself then is where we understand karma, where we understand good action, bad action through religious systems. Many religious systems are there, but they should all promote this one teaching. Do this, don't do that. And it's simply for our own good, for our own blessings that we are given this instruction. That is why ninth house and ninth house lord are connected to your father, because father should be giving you religious system. Religious system comes from the father's line, not from the mother's line. So seeing Bhagyesa definitely shows you something about your relationship to your father. But even deeper than that, the ninth house and the ninth house lord shows the karmas of the pitris, of your ancestors, of your father's father's father, and so on. And we often hear in many religious systems that we have the sins of the fathers. Have you ever heard of the sins of the mothers? No. The sins of the fathers, father, and so on, the ancestors. This is something also coming from the Bhagyesa. What a heavy load. But of course, we also get good fortune from our ancestors as well. You see, even science knows that by the epigenetics, all sorts of behaviors and fortunes come to us from our ancestors. It's not so unfair even as you might think, because we ourselves often take birth in these bloodlines. So certainly, as you can see everyone, Bhagyesa holds some very complex but heavy karmas for us, but still he is a planet of good fortune. How will that good fortune manifest for you in your chart? There are important rules. The first thing is that wherever Bhagyesa is in your chart, whatever house he should occupy, in that house you must perform Dharma. You must perform truth and good action. Why? Because he is carrying energy of Guru Jupiter. If you are deceptive, if you are performing ill deeds in that area of your life, you can be sure that your fortune will desert you. Let's take an example. Say you have the ninth house lord in the seventh house of relationships. If you are deceptive to your spouse, if you are telling untruths, if there is ill karma coming from you towards your spouse, your fortune will be deeply affected. Of course, it becomes very challenging when the Bhagyesa himself, ninth house lord, is a malefic gone into the seventh house, like Saturn, Rahu, or ninth house lord is conjunct to these malefics. Then we have difficult relationships circumstance, and we may be tempted, we may say, to these difficult undharmic actions. But Bhagyesa has no excuses. He will give you the good fortune if you are dharmic, wherever he is, and that is the end of it. And of course, fortune goes up and down, and from your Bhagyesa placement, certain houses promote fortune, certain houses in your chart will be blocked, will be a blocking of your fortune. These I will definitely discuss with you. But of all of them, perhaps the most important is the 10th house away from your 9th house lord. The 10th house from your 9th house lord, Bhagyesa, shows where you will have the most responsibility in life, where you must fulfill duty, because Dharma is about this. So in this present day, we are very concerned with our rights to this, rights to that, but really it is performing our duty with care and consideration that is securing our good fortune. Again, I will discuss on the video. But there is a final and deep analysis actually of the Bhagyesa Lord himself, because Bhagyesa and the 9th house is the root of the whole universe, you should know, because Sagittarius is the root of the galactic center. So the Nakshastra Moola is here. So the root karma which we should do is also shown by the Bhagyesa, by the Lord of the 9th house. Let's have a quick look. And in Jyotish Vedic Astrology, this root cause of your birth, the karma which you must perform, is called the Dharma Ayana, and it is shown by the 9th house Lord in this way. For the sun, for Mercury and for Saturn as your ninth house lord, the root karma, the Dharma Ayana, is wealth creation. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to become a millionaire, a billionaire. You have to see all that by the other karmas in your chart. Second house lord, see that, definitely see my video. But you are here to create wealth. You will feel this push to create wealth in your life. And that is good. You should not shirk it. You must do it. You must create wealth. You must increase wealth in your life for the good of other people, using it for dharmic purpose. Your ninth lord or one of your ninth lords should be the moon, Mars or Ketu, any of these three grahas. You definitely must do social welfare work. Your Dharma Ayana, the root cause here of your Dharma, of your good fortune, is your social responsibility. Doing welfare work to help others is a definite push which you will certainly feel and which must be fulfilled. And if Jupiter, Venus or Rahu, any of these three are your ninth house lord, you must get knowledge. You must find knowledge, truth, some higher wisdom or some form of academic knowledge even. Whatever it is, you must accumulate knowledge and you must give it out. This is the root of your Dharma. How to use these readings, everybody. First and foremost, make sure you have a Vedic horoscope, not a Western horoscope. It isn't going to show you the karmas of your ninth house lord or even the correct ninth house lord. Check below my description box. At the very end, I have a website there, Devaguru, which you can easily bring up your Vedic chart. But however you get your Vedic chart, your sidereal zodiac chart, make sure it is signed for a house system. Don't use any unequal house division like Bhavachalat, etc. That will not give you the deep karmas we are discussing. So when your ninth house lord has gone into the first house, it's a definite blessing position. It is bringing you great good fortune. Let's see why. You get traditionally favor of the king with this position, but in this day and age, it's favor of superiors, favor of the boss, favor of government. People see there is something worthy in you and they promote you. The Lagna represents our fame, where we get position, where we get noticed. So very often, ninth lord, first house, you actually get fame, either local fame or more widespread, even world fame. Definitely by your past dharmic actions, you put yourself in a position where people will notice you. According to Sage Parashara, you will have learning. This is because ninth lord is education. So going into this house, higher learning, philosophy, wisdom comes to you. Good education is there. You may have good looks as well because first house is our body. By this position of the Bhagyesa also, you can get prosperity, good fortune, because the ninth house, the first house and the fifth house are the Lakshmi Sthana, or the bringers of prosperity, good fortune. So this increases monetary wealth or good fortune. Also see second house lord video, of course, to confirm. You may have contact with people from foreign lands or business connections to people from far away. This is shown. And once again, this ninth house lord being here shows how fame can actually come. Thing to recognize though is that the moon itself must be, to get the highest good fortune, connected to this ninth house lord in this case. Either moon is ninth house lord or he is with ninth house lord. You are guaranteed these good fortunes. You must see the nature of this ninth house lord. Can't go through them all right here, but you can get the idea. If he is Jupiter, you get learning, wisdom. If he is Mercury, you are charming. Maybe you are a humorous person, popular person. If he should be the sun, definitely you are going to get favor of superiors. Look how the houses from this lord will definitely impact the karmas. The seventh house away is the seventh house of spouse. Now, seventh house from the ninth house lord means where our prayers are needed. So praying to God to give you, by your good karmas, a good spouse, a good partner helps. And when you get that partner, praying together helps. Being religious, being dharmic, sharing the same philosophical religious system will bring you close together, give you success in your relationship. Second house away from the Bhagyesa will increase. That is, wealth should increase in your life. See second house lord karmas, of course. Check that video for more details. Definitely fifth house is fortunate, ninth house is. So in general, ninth lord, first house, good relationships with your children, good relationship with your father. Education definitely favored. But if there are malefics with this Bhagyesa in this fifth, ninth house, you must do a remedy to bring out the good fortune. Check the end of the video. You must see condition of the 4th house and the 8th house for the blockages to your fortune when you have Bhagyesa here. Now, this is a detailed chart analysis, but generally somebody connection to your early childhood environment, someone connected to your home life may cause you obstructions. Sometimes obstructions in inheritance and wills, legacies can also be seen. There can also be obstruction to your fortune by your partner's relatives, your in-laws. That can be seen by this 8th house, or even business partner. But also you must see karaka significance of any planets in your 4th, 8th house. Let's say you've got Mars in your 4th house. Siblings, particularly brothers, may cause you obstruction, and so on. Also, because the 8th house is involved in these obstructions, you can expect that your life goes through many big ups and downs, major changes of fortune, even though generally 9th Lord 1st house will ensure good fortune always comes back. And where are the tests of your Dharma to ensure that your good fortune continues? In the 3rd house, which is siblings, which is communication. Your communication must be kind, must be not aggressive, and relationships with your siblings will be a test to many of you. And the 10th house away is the house of karma, the house of career. So having the most ethical standards in your working life is absolutely necessary. Immediately after you try to shirk responsibilities or do less than you should do in your job, immediately you are not taking full responsibility for your position, immediately good fortune will be gone. So take care with this. Now, when the Bhagyesa, the Lord of your 9th house, has gone 6 away into the 2nd house, it is very skillful position. Parashara talks about the skill which you can have. You can get popularity, you can get success through the use of your skill directly. You are also definitely going to have some level of great sensuality by this position, because 2nd house is about senses and particularly about consumption and food. So yes, you can have increase in your wealth by your skill, but you can also have increase in consumption. You might have eating behavior problems, you may have overeating, you may have dietary problems, you could even have alcoholism, all sorts of addictions by this 9th Lord going into this 2nd house. You need to temper consumption carefully. And watch your speech. This is the actual house of speech. How you speak will make or break your fortune. That means how you speak to other people. I've spoken how Bhagyesa is like Jupiter, Lord of Truth, and going 6 away into this 2nd house, you may have some weakness shown by the 6 houses away, which stops you always being completely honest. Think about it carefully. Don't be too judgmental on yourself, but try to be straightforward, honest always in your speech. And check 6th house Lord as well. What are your weaknesses, your shadrapus? Correcting them cleanses this 9th house Lord. Check the video on my channel, 6th Lord in all houses. Of course, 2nd house represents family. So when you have the moon as your Bhagyesa, 9th Lord, or the moon is aspecting your Bhagyesa, or even in the 2nd house, this will increase the fortune of the position. Now, I've just mentioned how your speech should be truthful and definitely dharmic, but 9th Lord in this 2nd house gives you powerful speech, gives you speech which definitely has a wide influence on other people. That is why you should be very honest and very careful with your speech. It is going to influence so much of your destiny. And of course, the 2nd house to this Bhagyesa position is your 3rd house. This house increases in fortune. So you can be a fantastic writer, media personality, communicator, blogger, internet personality. Anything where you are communicating to a wide audience gives you success. And this Dharma factor is going to influence the 7th house away, the actual house of inheritance, business, and joint finance. You can have monetary success through inheritance, family business, or joint business, anything where you are working with somebody else to increase income. This can be very favorable for you, as long as I say you keep to the dharmic path I've just described. Of course, if you have malefics like Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, Mars aspecting your Bhagyesa, take the remedy at the end of the video, because these blockages will also block your fortune. Now, the blessings of this position of your Bhagyesa come from the 5th house away, which is the 6th house. You get blessings from working with non-human beings. You get blessings from medical employment and even from your subordinates who help you, who definitely support you in your working space, and from your 10th house. So career can go very well. If you are honest, open, communicating well, you get blessings from superiors and in your career. You have blockages though in the 5th and the 9th house by this position of your Bhagyesa. So education may be stopped, may be blocked, or learning experience will not be smooth. You may have problems with a child sometimes, or with conception, sometimes even with your father. Check planets in this house for more details. 5th house and 9th house. Where will Bhagyesa test you? In the 4th house of your chart. You will be tested with trying circumstances connecting to your mother sometimes, to your domestic life. Many trials there which you have to overcome, staying dharmic, doing right action. And the 10th away is your responsibility. It's the 11th house. You have duties, responsibility to your friendship network circle generally, even to your elder siblings. You must be responsible towards them. They may need your help at some point. You are definitely going to help wider society at some point also in your life. Take these responsibilities very seriously and you will increase your fortune. The Bhagyesa going opposite to himself into the house of siblings. Yes, siblings are a big karma. It can be because you've got a big family, many siblings, or it can be the complete opposite, where there are no siblings at all. 3rd house is the actual house of cousins as well, not just siblings. So siblings or cousins bring you fortune in some way very often, unless there is serious blockage to the Lord when the Bhagyesa has gone into the 3rd house. But just like Bhagyesa in the 2nd house, Bhagyesa going into this opposite house gives you skill, gives you some musical skill, communication skill, practical skill, artistic skill, any skill at all. Skill increases to your good fortune when you have Bhagyesa in the 3rd house. It's the house of all communication skill, written communication, spoken communication. It gives you confidence to face the public, definitely, unless there are severe afflictions. Now, sometimes because 9th Lord is Father himself, going opposite here, you can have separation from Father, difficult communication with Father, but you have to correct this because it is Dharma Lord. You have to correct all of these difficulties by your own effort. If you do this, you increase your good fortune. But staying on the dharmic path increases your fortune with your spouse. You can have good fortune with your choiceless spouse. Spouse can help you be more devoted, more focused, can be very, very, very fortunate for you actually. And the 11th house, friends support you, friends help you. This is definitely good fortune. It's a good position for property ownership and for the fortune from your mother's family because the 2nd house away is the 4th house of home. And where do the blockages come? They come in the 6th and the 10th house. 6th house is about subordinates, people who work for you. So if you are employer, it's these people could cause you some difficulties, or it's work colleagues, people who work with you or for you in your workplace. Be patient, be dharmic dealing with them, and this will go down. These complications will be removed. And in your 10th house, watch dealings with the boss. You may have difficult superiors, difficult boss. Still, patience is needed. Even if your promotion gets blocked, stay patient. It's very important. Where will you be tested? You'll be tested in 5th house factors with your children. Well, who isn't tested by their children, but you particularly may have some concerns there where, again, you must be dharmic and be patient. You may have tests in your education as well, where you lose patience with a course, and with the 12th house as well. 12th house means where you have responsibilities. You have responsibility to clear your debt, to not overspend, to not waste money. It's very important because, as I've just said, 4th house away is a big blockage and it's a house of debt. So rein in expenditure, avoid speculation definitely because 5th house is 3rd house away, and definitely clear your debts regularly. If you do this, your good fortune increases. When the Bhagyesha's gone into the 4th house of the chart, it's another great blessing house because it can increase wealth in your life, property in your life, fortune in your life, happiness in your life, and all the luxuries of life can be there. But of course, you must see 4th house Lord for how much this will be supported. But generally, it's a very fortunate position. The thing is that it's your happiness at stake here. The thing is you must be truthful in the home. Truthful, dharmic, dealing with mother, who's an extremely big influence on you. You see, you are getting all this fortune because of your own good actions, but don't ruin it this life by taking it for granted. That's the thing. You may be tempted to take 4th house matters for granted. Think about it a little bit carefully. 9th house Lord here generally gives you confidence, gives you a deep inner happiness with your life. Unless he is afflicted or is a malefic, this is generally to be seen. Once again, you can correct it with the remedy at the end of the video. Definitely property, landed interests are favorable for you. All of these things give you increase in your prosperity, happiness, and fortune. And definitely all of this prosperity fortune may be connected to inheritance because the 8th house is 5 away, or to do with business dealings. Definitely 12th house factors, foreign land can be favorable for you. So going to live there or to buy property there in some cases can be very fortunate. The 7th house away, though, is the 10th house of your career. There may be some issues here, getting promotion, getting success sometimes that frustrates you, but with patience, you will achieve this definitely. If you keep to honest, truthful, dharmic actions, you will bring people round to your favor, including superiors. So great patience is definitely necessary in your public life. You may get even ill fame sometimes, but once again, patience, honesty, dharmic action will win people round to your favor. And where's your fortune expanding? It's in the 5th house. So you may have favor from your children, fortunate children in your life. You may have favorable education. Definitely education is good for you and should go very, very well. And you can have favor definitely in creative, artistic projects as well. Definitely you sometimes even get speculative gain, but you must definitely see 5th house Lord and even 2nd Lord. See my videos to confirm this. But there's always blockages to everybody's fortune, and even though this position is very good, there are blockages 4 houses away and 8 houses away in your house of partnership, in your business and spouse, and in your friendship network. Sometimes spouse causes you challenges. Spouse may cause you to have undharmic actions by testing your patience, but you must not let that happen. You must overcome all of these difficulties to stay happy and prosperous in life. Sometimes friendship network circles also cause you difficulty. And in fact, friends can be a blockage in your marriage in some cases. You definitely get tested by lots of people. That's the thing, by your marriage partner, by your friends, and also by your subordinates, because 3 houses away is the house of testing. So servants, people who work for you, should you have them, should you be business person, or colleagues, work colleagues, they will cause you distress. They will test your patience, test you to the limit. But once again, you must be dharmic, kind, and patient. Then all of these difficulties will go. You'll be tested by your competitors, by your enemies. They will test you so many times in whatever sphere of your life. But your responsibility is to yourself, because 10th house away is the 1st house of self. So your responsibility to keep this good fortune in your life is to be dharmic, is to have the highest personal standards of morality. If you keep to this, then good fortune is assured. When your Bhagyesa, your 9th house lords, got into the 5th house, it's very simple. Your fortune increases when you have children. This will be seen. So we could say, the sooner that you get married and have children, the sooner your fortune increases. Parashara is specifically talking about sons, by the way, because Jupiter, as the natural significator of the 9th house, represents sons. But don't throw away your daughters All of your children can be fortunate for you. But you must see 5th house Lord as well to confirm this, because in some cases, Bhagyesa in this 5th house is not about children. It's about higher learning. It's about mantra. It's about truth. It's about following Guru. So some deep learning, some deep philosophy is your fortune. And because 5th house is the actual house of learning, generally speaking, education, academic education, ordinary education favors your fortune tremendously, because 5 houses away is the actual house of higher education. And you have some specific karma, some specific dharma with young people generally. So being a teacher, working with children is definitely going to increase fortune for you. Dealing ethically with children, helping them, guiding them, mentoring them, all of these things, or simply being a really good parent. This is all coming from your past life fortune continuing on. It is a good thing. Your Bhagyesa being in this 5th house is, of course, aspecting the 9th house itself and the 1st house by the 5th, 9th aspect. This is very fortunate. It's very good for foreign land dealings, for, as I say, dealing with philosophy, higher learning, guru, teacher, but also for business, foreign lands. Also very, very good for your reputation and for your health as well. It's also good for your father's influence on you. He may be a special mentor, guide to you, or someone whose influence on you is especially fortunate, coming from past life situation. Every Bhagyesa placement brings the tests and the trials. Where's it coming for you? In the 4th house away, the 8th house, and in the 8th house away, the 12th house. You may have blockages coming from in-laws, some of you, because 8th house represents them, or with a joint business dealing, and definitely with stock market financial problems as well. Sometimes definitely inheritance will contain 1 or 2 blockages. And because the 12th house is involved, you may have difficulties with foreign residents or in foreign lands or dealing with foreign people. Again, you must see 4th house Lord to get a full picture if you should wish to live abroad. Definitely, though, watch your debt and expenditure. Dealing with your debt as soon as it accumulates helps you keep fortune flowing in your life. You will get big tests, though, in your marriage situation. There may be difficulty with a spouse, difficult communication, difficult blockages can be there. Once again, this is a test which you must overcome. You must be patient and kind to your spouse, trying to overcome these hurdles. And patience with your family, all of your family members, is a definite trial to you, but you must accomplish this task because this is your duty house, your responsibility, which is really the actual cause of your good fortune. If you shirk your duties, responsibilities to your family members, your bhagya, your good fortune is really lost to you. Something to consider. So when your Bhagyesa has gone into the 6th house of your chart, a Dusthana house, definitely there will be blockages and difficulties for your fortune, but you are saved by one factor. Your mantra for life is one word, basically work, work, and work. The harder that you work, the more your fortune will increase. It's a position definitely for a self-made person. Remember this, it is your responsibility to increase your fortune no matter what circumstances you should face. Definitely you should see my video 6th house Lord, because these Shadarapus which are shown in this house are what is holding back your fortune. You need to cleanse 6th house thoroughly so that fortune and ease of your fortune increases will occur. Now, because Bhagyesa carries past life karma and he's in the 6th house of the enemy, without doubt, some of your enemies have followed you into this incarnation. You have not finished battling with them, and you'll know who they are. They could be friends, they could be family members, they could be work colleagues. You will feel this immediate feeling that there is something not good in this relationship, and it's due to past life enmity. So what should you do about this? Certainly with 9th house Lord in 6th and the 8th and 12th houses as well, Dusthana house, you must take the remedy at the end of this video. Do not skip that. You need help to overcome this difficult situation. But some people with this 9th house Lord, 6th house enjoy dealing with confrontation. You may go into legal work because of this, or into policing, or into the army. Wherever you can continue to fight in some way, you will enjoy that. And certainly when the Bhagyesa 9th Lord is a malefic like Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, Mars in this house, this will probably be the case. But this is not what it's all about, everybody. You do not get fortune by increasing enmity in your life. It's about decreasing enmity that will bring you fortune. In fact, very often people with this 9th Lord, 6th house go into medical field where they are helping others, where they are actually fighting disease. This can be seen. And of course, 6th house is the house of non-human beings. So working with small animals, particularly once again, maybe in medical ways, can be fortunate for you. Now, the 9th Lord in the 6th house means that the 7th house increases in your life. Sometimes going into a business partnership, working with somebody closely in a business way can be successful for you. So it's about creating partnership, not enmity. And even marriage situation can be fortunate if you can get rid of this sort of karmic backlog of conflict. Yet the 5th house away, 10th house, and the 9th house, 2nd house are favorable for you. How is this? Because you fight for career success. You fight away all the competitors. You get to the top in your career. You can have success. Just make sure that you don't do anything unethical and everything will be fine. You will increase wealth also in your life. Again, the utmost ethical factors should be there. Otherwise, it will be lost. And you will even fight to protect family members. This is favorable. But watch dealings in foreign lands, in your education. There could be competitive, difficult and trying situations, once again, with people who are not on your wavelength, causing you difficulty. And with your father, difficult karmas there, which you must have the utmost patience to deal with. Because the 8th house away is the Ascendant. Watch your health, watch your high blood pressure, watch all of those cardiovascular factors as well, especially if Saturn or Rahu get involved here. You should be very careful to keep fitness level high when you have 9th Lord, 6th house. Your tests come in the 8th house. Now, I've just said the business partnership can be good. It can, but there will be tests, many ups and downs. And your in-laws also may cause you some difficulty. You will be tested also and have to be highly ethical dealing with the 3rd house, with your siblings, particularly maybe younger siblings as well, and with your communication with them, because you have responsibilities to your siblings. You must fulfill them to increase your fortune. So, Lord of your fortune, the 9th house has gone into the 7th house of your chart. Right away, we can say marriage increases your fortune, partnership increases fortune, business partnership also increases your fortune. The thing is, who is this 9th house Lord? If he is a malefic like Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, Mars, even the Sun sometimes, there will be challenges getting married, staying married, and with that marriage partner. Nonetheless, you will see within time, looking back, you will see how much your fortune increases when you are married. You see, after you marry, after you commit, we are talking about long-term committed relationships here, minimum. When you do that, doors open to you, opportunities come to you that were just simply not there before. You see, this 9th house Lord, 7th house gives you skill, gives you talent in life, and you are promoted in these talents, in these skills when you are in a committed relationship. It's the fortune of other people generally, though, in your life that pushes you forward. Business partnership can be especially fortunate for you. Going it alone can be okay, but it's much better with somebody else in some form of committed relationship, business dealership, whatever it is. You do well when you partner up in some way or other with somebody else. Another factor certainly is because this is past life karma coming into this 7th house, because Bhagyesa carries past life deeds and past life karma directly. Your first spouse, first major relationship is deeply karmic. It is a continuation of something from a past life. Of course, to see the details of this relationship, check 7th Lord in all the houses of your chart. Playlist is below the video. And there is good fortune too for business people, because 7th house is the marketplace of life, business dealing. So definitely with foreign lands and far distant business can be very successful also. It's confirmed also because the 8th house expands with that Bhagyesa energy. 8th house of business dealing, speculation, stock market, inheritance, all of these things are favorable. Even your in-laws look on you with favor. And where is fortune expanding as well for you? It's in the 5th house away, which is the 11th, and the 9th house, the 3rd house. You get fortunate friends which are good for your fortune. Again, if there are malefics here, it mightn't seem so all the time, but generally friends support you in this life, and your siblings will support you also. They are source of your good fortune. Where do the blockages come? There are always blockages, as I've said. It's coming in your 10th house. Sometimes at some point in your career, there's a superior, a boss who causes you problems. There can be promotion difficulties, challenges in your career. These will definitely test you. You must stay dharmic at all times. You may have some difficulty finding correct career, correct place for you, but you will find it in the end. And the 8th house away is the 2nd house. Watch your speech. Your speech could work against you. Watch your words. Be ethical at all times. Be kind speaking to other people. Don't lose your patience. But your family members might cause you some sort of a blockage. You have to see Karaka here, who it is. So if it's, say, Mars, even though siblings are generally very, very good for you, one brother represented by Mars may cause you some issues. You have to see your specific chart. You'll be tested by the 3rd house away. You'll be tested in foreign lands sometimes. You'll be tested with your teachers, mentors, gurus even. If you should have a guru, they will test you. And you will be also tested by your father. So dealing with all of these people, keep to the highest ethical and moral standards. Be kind, be patient, be tolerant, and you will not change your fortune. And the 10th house away is your big responsibility. It's to your mother. Of course, we all have this to our mothers, but for you, it's specifically karmic. She may cause you difficulty. Sometimes that's why it's such a big karmic burden for you. You must fulfill responsibilities to your mother. And it's your domestic sphere generally, and your home life and your properties, because you may have even had inheritance, as I have said. So keeping your home in the highest order and not having clutter, not having it dirty, all of these things, you must have a very high standard in your domestic sphere to keep all of your good fortune. When the Bhagyesa, the 9th Lord's gone 12 to itself in the 8th house, it's going to challenge you always. It's going to challenge you most of all not to be grasping in terms of wealth and in terms of ownership. Now, what's happening is that you feel lack in your life. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire. Truly, anybody with the 9th Lord, 8th house feels some lack. You're always praying for more fortune in your wealth situation. But this is what is actually causing you misfortune. This desire to have more and more. You see, 9th Lord in this 8th house is about spiritual wisdom. It's about getting of spiritual knowledge, deep occult science knowledge. It's even about, in some cases, renunciation. If it is Jupiter here, it is most fortunate. You get the most tremendous spiritual advancement in this very lifetime. It's a great boon. It's basically giving you, though, for most people, the 9th house lord, 8th house, a deep feeling of insecurity. Now, how can you overcome this psychological block? You should do the remedy at the end of the video. It is most important. Subconsciously, you will definitely have this feeling when you have 9th lord, 8th house, that if you get too much, if you have too much, you should somehow give it away. You want more, but actually when you get more, you even feel undeserving of it. It's not a psychological block, it's just the karmas you are faced with. You see, you have probably had great fortune in your past life, but it didn't help you with your spiritual fulfillment or your inner happiness. And in this life, you deeply remember this. So you have a real fortune when you are charitable. 5 houses away is the 12th house of loss, where you give to others. You are here to give of your knowledge, give of your fortune, give of your wealth. The more you give, the more you get. And because your fortune in this life is linked to the 12th house and the 4th house, some of you go to live in foreign lands, and this can be favorable. Of course, you must see the whole chart, 4th lord, 12th lord, to make a final decision about this. A further reason why foreign lands are good is that the 2nd house away is the 9th house itself of foreign shores. So definitely traveling minimum into foreign lands is good fortune for you, but very often staying there also. And whereas the major blockages coming to your fortunes coming from the 11th and the 3rd house. In this 11th house, watch your friendship network circles. Some friends are not really your true friends at all. You will find this out. But not every friend is an enemy. Just choose friends carefully. You will be fine. When you try to increase income, though, there can be many hurdles, many blockages. You must stay patient. And what you're dealing certainly with your siblings, they can cause blockages, difficulties also. Patience and open communication with them is a definite must for you. You will be tested in your career because it is 3rd house away. This is where you have to stay the utmost patience, and you may have bosses, superiors who really test you, make tremendous demands on you. Once again, you must have patience. You will feel like just leaving the job many times. It's far better for you not to do so too many times, or you will really bring yourself backwards. Sometimes you get fortune in a self-employment, some people with this position. And your deepest karmic responsibilities from this placement come in the 5th house of children. You must give karmically here. They will cause you a lot of hard work. Now that's true for everybody having children, but for you, it's really karmic. You have to give a lot to your kids. You really have to give enormous energy here to maintain your fortune. If by other karmas in your chart you do not have children in this lifetime, you must give to younger people. You will find this happen to you. It may be students if you are some sort of teacher. They will demand so much of you, you must fulfill it. It is like a debt which you have to pay. So giving to younger people, educating them, helping them, mentoring them, fulfills this dharma in your life. When your Bhagyesa has gone into the 9th house, he's in his own house. Parashara talks very favorably about this position. It can give you abundant wealth, good fortune. You can become talented, skilled, and definitely even very handsome because of the aspect to the 1st house, the Ascendant. Fulfilled many dharmic obligations last life, and these are coming back to help you as some blessings in this very lifetime, specifically very often from your siblings, particularly maybe younger siblings are a blessing to you. There's a lot of positive power in your life because the Dharma Lord is looking at the 1st house. The actual Karaka is Sun here. So this is going to bring you good fortune. But there is something which you need to be aware of. People think 9th Lord, 9th house, foreign lands will be good for you. But actually, everyone, that's not always the case. Because everyone, the 4th house away is the house which gives you blockages to your fortune. And that's the actual house, 12th house of foreign residence, foreign land. So you have to check the whole chart carefully. 4th house lord, 12th house lord, certainly. But generally, foreign lands are not always as fortunate as you might think. In addition, home life generally can be a difficult thing because it's 8 houses away from this Bhagyesa. There can be blockages finding peace, security in your domestic situation. No matter how wealthy you are, that is a factor. There may be karmic struggles, difficulty in your early home environment as well, difficulties with the mother, even loss of the mother, or challenging circumstances for her can be shown. Now, Bhagyesa being in the house of father should bring you happiness from your father. Sometimes this is the case, but when it is a malefic Bhagyesa like Saturn, Mars, Rahu, Ketu, there can be extreme difficulty with your father. Some very difficult karmas there. One thing for sure, 9th Lord, 9th house, there is a religious system, philosophy, way of finding truth which you have to follow. You have to follow it with your heart and soul because this is your good fortune in life. And the 9th house away is the 5th house of learning. You're an excellent student and definitely you enjoy learning. So your education should be favorable for you. But if there is a malefic 9th house lord or malefics with the 9th house lord here, you may have a big delay in your higher education, but nevertheless, it is fortunate for you. Bhagyesa 9th house is not just good for learning, but also for teaching. Many excellent teachers have this position, and you get fortune from children themselves or from your own students. And the 5th house away is the 1st house ascendant. So you may get good health, popularity even sometimes by this position. Certainly, some people even get fame. And where is your big test in life? It's going to come through your elder siblings, not younger siblings who are fortunate for you, but your elder sibling if you should have them. Your social network circles, your friendship circles are a big test of your Dharma. Basically, it's not so much that they are false friends, although that can definitely happen, but you don't know who is a good friend sometimes. You are too trusting. You are not looking at what motives are here. So look at your friendship networks carefully. Friendship network circles can basically make or break your fortune. And where is your hard work Dharma going to be? It's the 10th house away, the 6th house. This is where you have responsibilities, obligations, duties, very often to non-human beings represented by this house. You have dharmic actions to perform, helping non-humans. Many of you will definitely recognize this. Not just pets, but all non-human beings. And because the 6th house represents litigation, many of you with this 9th Lord, 9th house have some big litigation, court case, or some such thing comes into your life at some time. As long as you are dharmic dealing with it, truthful, it will not disrupt your fortune. When the Bhagyesa, 9th Lord of your chart, has gone into the 10th house, it's definitely mostly a very fortunate factor because it's a Kendra house and really it is giving you a big rise in life. You get favor of superiors. You can even get royal status by this, Parashara talks about. These days it just means high position generally. People respect you, look up to you, no matter what is your position in life, that's for sure. And this is a very fortunate thing. You get promotion, you get general help in your career due to your past life karmas. So you certainly have to work hard, but not as hard to get promotion as many other people, depending on who is the Bhagyesa itself. But of course, this is the actual house of deeds, karma. So you are a hard worker, shown primarily because the 9th house away is the 6th house. So you work endlessly at your career to get success. But your success is not simply coming from your hard work, but from your past karmas. But the one thing that may elude you is the 4th house, the 7th house away. You're always praying for domestic settlement, domestic peace, because you can be moving home very often. Domestic life is not easily peaceful, successful for you. So you should pay attention to it, not just to your career. In fact, some people with this Bhagyesa 10th house completely neglect family life. This doesn't help. And relationship with your mother can be tested also. What is increasing in your life, though, is the 11th house. You can have many friends, big network circles who are always providing the most amazing opportunities for you. This can be seen. And you are always finding a new source of income because the 5th house away is the 2nd house of wealth. So it's generally a very good position for prosperity. It's fortunate too because the 9th house away is the 6th house. So with this Bhagyesa 10th house, you face enemies quite a lot. The more competitors you have, the more enemies, the more fame you get, the more successful you become because you quite simply defeat them. But every Bhagyesa Lord position will have tests and challenges. Your major challenge comes in your health. You can be overindulgent, lazy sometimes, neglecting physical health. It's something which you should avoid. Or you go overboard with it, becoming some sort of fitness freak where you put so much emphasis on your appearance. You've got to be careful about it. And you can have a very strong ego by this 9th Lord, 10th house. This can be your undoing. It's a big test also dealing with your children because it's 8 houses away to the 5th house. Now, this can mean many things. First of all, you may even have secret children. Occasionally that can be seen because the 8th house is secrets. Or you can have a big test dealing ethically with your children. You can have many children, few children, but they provide challenges to your status sometimes or challenges to your desires in life. Being ethical with them is absolutely important. And foreign lands present many challenges to you. It's the 3rd house away from the Bhagyesa. So challenging situations develop when you are in foreign lands. And watch your expenditure. This can go through the roof with this Bhagyesa sometimes. You can be terribly extravagant and you simply have to watch debt in your life. It can be your undoing. And finally, where is your karmic responsibility? Where is your dharmic debt, which you must fulfill, where you must have absolute duty? It's in the 7th house to your spouse. So there will be tests here for many of you. Generally, you are a very good-hearted person. You want to benefit other people, serve other people, but are you serving your spouse as much? Are you giving good fortune to them? You must consider this. Being very ethical, open, no deception, no deceit in your relationship is absolutely necessary to maintain your good fortune. When the Bhagyesa Lord of Fortune's gone into the 11th house, many blessings can come. Specifically, you get gain of wealth in your life, increase of income through many different sources. Opportunities, new doors open to you continually by this Bhagyesa being in this 11th house. When you are at your most needy, when you just need that opportunity, it tends to come before you. So very often multiple streams of income are very common with this position. You get favor of your father, favor of your elder siblings, definitely. And so much good fortune comes to you. Sometimes even by wishing for good fortune, it will come to you. But you certainly get many blessings from your family, from your siblings, cousins, etc. And definite blessing from your spouse. It is 9 houses away to the 7th house of spouse. See, you go out of your way to help many people, including your spouse. So it's a mutually helpful position. And 9th Lord in this 11th house gives you exceptional talent. It's because the 5th house away is the 3rd house of skill. So you learn quickly, an exceptional learner of any skill. You can become talented in almost any artistic or literary field. Writer, media communicator, blogger, critic, anything. And you get exceptional skill in artistic endeavors like singing, drama, etc. And because Bhagyesa aspects the 7th house again, it's the actual house of marketplace. You're an excellent financial advisor to other people as well. It's exceptionally good for business people because of the 9th aspect to the 7th house of the marketplace. One door closes, another door opens to you consistently. Watch out though for the 4th and the 8th aspect here. 4th aspect to the 2nd house of your family. You're a very successful, expansive person, and you may even create jealousy within your family circle without you meaning to do so. It may occur. Watch your enemies also, 6th house. Watch your competitors carefully. They can be your undoing. They can be jealous of you, undermining your position. Particularly watch people who you work with, work colleagues also. You have a definite dharma, though, to reach out to other people and to help them, because that's what this 11th house is all about. And the third aspect here is on the 1st house. So you will be tested how much you are committed to helping other people at every step of your life. But the good news is the more that you reach out to support others, help others, the more your fortune increases. So it's really a win-win situation. Because the 10th house away is the 8th house of crisis transformation, when other people go through difficult circumstances, your help sees them through. You could become counselor, psychotherapist, mentor, somebody who is in the medical field, definitely. And in any case, the more you help people going through difficulty, your fortune increases. And even when you personally go through crisis, trauma, transformation, all of these 8th house things, you come out of it stronger and even wealthier. Would you know? Definitely you do, because you make the best of any difficult situation. What's that saying in life? When life gives you a lemon, make a lemonade. That is definitely talking about the 9th Lord in the 11th house. Now, when the 9th Lord, Bhagyesa, has gone into the 12th house, it's a Dusthana placement like the 6th and the 8th house. Definitely check out the remedy coming up soon, because you need it to steady this position. It can give lack of direction in your life, uncertainty what to do. But one thing is sure, foreign lands are fortunate for you. You get increase in your fortune is far from your place of birth, but you must check also 12th house Lord and 4th house Lord to support this statement. Certainly, though, income, money, and all sorts of gain in your life come from foreign sources. This is generally seen. And very often, higher education study takes place in foreign lands, and this also is favorable for you. You may work also in these larger 12th house institutions like prisons, asylums, hospitals, schools, any of these large organizations. They can be fortunate for you work-wise. Working in these sort of organizations is actually good for you because it gives you structure to your life, makes you organize your life, whereas self-employment can be difficult for you. Of course, that's not always the case. You must see 7th house Lord, business Lord to really confirm this. But generally, you need structure in your life. Now, 12th house is about charity, and definitely the more you give to charitable causes, education courses, of course, because 9th Lord is about Jupiter, education. More you give to poor people, giving them education, children's education, all of these things, you get fortune through this charitable giving. But don't forget that the 9th Lord acts like Jupiter, giver of wisdom. So it's a very spiritual, deep position here. And the 9th away is the 8th house. So you get deep intuition, deep ability with Jyotish, astrology, occult wisdom, definitely with this position. Now, the Bhagyesa represents the father. Going into the 12th house, there can be difficulties, challenges with your father relationship, or father may be simply lost to you. This can be seen. 4th house away gives you blockages too. It's a house of siblings, cousins even. So family relationships is not easy in any way when you have 9th Lord in the 12th house. One special thing is that the 5th away is the house of mother. Very often a deep connection karmically with your mother, who is a support to you generally, can be seen. You may have challenging spousal relationships sometimes, but you must see 7th house Lord for the full picture. Spouse demands a lot of you, and you have to be very patient dealing with relationships. You may have health problems also, because 7th house away is the 6th house of health. So many karmic challenges coming to you, but the one most important factor is the 10th house away from this 9th house Lord. is where you must fulfill duty, and it's in the 9th house. You may not want to complete education, or education could even be denied to you, but when you have the opportunity, take it. Education, higher education, is extremely beneficial for you. Do not lose out on the opportunity. The very special factor about 9th Lord, 12th house is that you took birth to get some special wisdom, because 10 houses away is the 9th house of Guru. You will definitely meet spiritual teacher, guide, mentor, philosophical guide, even lecturer in higher education at the least. Somebody who gives you guidance, opens you up to tremendous knowledge. This knowledge you came here for. Do not be afraid to give yourself totally to this experience. So who needs a remedy for the 9th house? We all do, but especially when the 9th house Lord is in the 6th, 8th and 12th house, or is a malefic himself, or associated with malefic planets. It is to Lord Ramachandra himself on a very auspicious day every month that we should apply ourselves. He is the most kind and beneficent incarnation of Shri Vishnu, God himself. In fact, everybody, it is on the Navami of the increasing moon, that particular tithi, once a month, that this remedy should be applied. So not many opportunities. Do not miss the opportunity. You can find the Navami day, the increasing moon tithi, the 9th day after the new moon, as I say, on any Vedic calendar, widely available on the internet. Or you can even use Deva Guru website, available at the end of my description box. In the early morning of that day, you should chant this very auspicious 12-syllable mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya. 108 times minimum, more if you can. And definitely you can even listen to this as well. I will post a recording at the end of my description box. So by the absolute grace of Shri Ram, let us be definitely removing the impediments from our past karma that are blocking our good fortune. Check out the other videos on your screen right now for the Lords through all houses. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Goodbye for now, and God bless everyone.